Welcome everybody. Good afternoon and happy Friday. My name is Mark Melanson and I'm the Executive Director of the California Community Living Network. A few logistics. This meeting will be recorded and we'll be posting that to our website for future viewing. We do have ASL interpreters and would ask that folks be patient with us as we move through our presentations because we'll be shifting from PowerPoints to speakers, that we make sure that we're featuring the ASL interpreters. We have asked all panelists to keep their cameras off so that it's easier to feature those ASL interpreters. We're really excited to be with you all today for the CCLN monthly member meetup on PAVE service outcomes. Because we are announcing some pretty big news today, we have opened this meeting up to everyone, not just our members. So a little bit of history. This work really began to take shape back in 2016 with HCBS compliance and with the final rule. It continued in January 19th. With the CCLN's release of a competitive wage study, which examined the wages of direct support professionals. In October of 2019, CCLN hired an executive director and began our work on a grant from the State Council on Developmental Disabilities. That was titled PAVE, and that stands for Person-Centered Vision, Advocacy, and Education. We assembled an amazing group of thought leaders and we called it the PAVE Advisory Group. The PAVE Advisory Group was comprised of people served, families, providers, and other stakeholders. This was the body that advised us as we began our journey of the Service Outcome Project. We completed that work on the grant in December of 2020. That brings us to today. Today, we will feature CCLN's latest accomplishment and announce CCLN's very first sponsored bill. Upon completion of our work on Developmental Disability Service Outcomes Project, we were excited to be taking the next steps to advance a bill that will create and fund an administrative pilot to implement the work of PAVE. This bill is proposing a pilot project on defining, measuring, and using service outcomes for the developmental disability service system. It's inspired by CCLN's work on competitive wages and the PAVE Service Outcome Project. We have an all-star lineup of speakers for you today. Who knew that when we began this work on PAVE that it would take us nationally and internationally? Today, you will hear from many of the consultants we engaged with on the project and details about the proposed pilot project. I want to start with the author of our bill, and I'm going to share a photo. Assemblymember Speaker Pro Tem Kevin Mullen has been a champion for our community. Back in 2018, he provided a recording in support of CCLN for our very first legislative breakfast at our annual leadership conference. He also received that year the CCLN Key Person Award. So that's a photo of him being presented with the Key Person Award presented by Jackie from STEP, as well as some of her employees and the people that she serves. We have the key because the key is the key to your own apartment and is a very powerful symbol. So that's why it is the Key Person Award. So I'm gonna stop sharing that. Assemblymember Mullen sent us a recording so that he could do our opening remarks. So I am gonna hopefully play that for you now so that we can hear from the author of our bill.
Good afternoon, everyone. Assemblymember Kevin Mullen here. I'd like to thank you all for inviting me to be a part of the California Community Living Network's monthly meeting, and I'm sorry I can't be with you live today. As an active member of the Select Committee on Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities, I'm excited to author a bill this year, AB 813, that I believe will have a positive effect on the IDD community. Our Select Committee has heard too often that our state continues to underfund the IDD service system exhibited by the rate study and other reports. We know that a major contributing factor to this is simply lack of data. That's why when I was approached to author a bill that would provide the state with data and quality metrics to better evaluate how services are being delivered to the developmentally disabled community, I agreed. Through the implementation of this pilot, I believe California will be taking an important step toward providing quality services in a manner that will allow individuals with developmental disabilities to pursue their chosen ways of life in the community. I appreciate CCLN's support of the bill, and I look forward to partnering with you all this year. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Assemblymember Mullen.